this is Samsung's Z Fold 3. What the hell, man? This is ridiculous. I do not know how to explain it, but just say, this is crazy. This is crazy. So this is my first Fold I've ever owned, and this is the first time I'm actually ever holding a Fold, besides like, at a Best Buy or something like that with all the security tags. When I saw it at Best Buy and stuff like that, I'm like, it's no big deal. It's just a folding phone. But holding it in your hand without those tags and just being able to play with it, like fully play with it and putting your information on here, this is out of the world, man. There's so much tech going into this that I have to appreciate how amazing this is. Folding it is amazing. And then closing it is even better. Just so satisfying. That is so satisfying. I'm sure the flip is probably even more satisfying. But I went with the Fold 3 just because I wanted the beast mode. I wanted the flex mode. We're about to go flexing. But let's talk about this one a little bit real quick. So starting off the front display here, I am not a huge fan of it. Now, the main reason is because of the huge candy bar type of style. This aspect ratio, I'm not used to this. This is going to be a huge learning curve. It's just so narrow and so tall. It's just so weird. Typing on here, I'm not even going to bother with that because this is so hard to type on. My fat ass thumbs, they're just not going to survive on this. So mainly, I bet I'll be using this for taking calls, if anything, opening Spotify, setting up a quick song, something like that. But nothing crazy on here because most of the stuff you're going to be doing is inside the display. But you do have the front facing punch hole camera, so you can take a quick pic, a quick selfie, take a quick snap if you need to. But yeah, really, this is just like a little phone, nothing crazy. I see it as almost like an always on display type of thing that you want to set up. But otherwise, the big story is right inside here. So yeah, this display, it's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. So let's get the big, elephant out of the room. Is that what the term is? I don't know. But the crease. The crease, it's noticeable when you're scrolling around. And I would say it's also noticeable when you're watching stuff and browsing stuff. But once you start to get into it, start doing what you're doing, I'm not seeing it as much. I'm not noticing it as much. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing that my mind's not like getting bothered by it. And the under the screen camera, front facing camera here, yeah, it's noticeable on certain backgrounds. But most of the time, once you start doing what you're doing, you're working on stuff, watching videos, playing games, doing something, it's gonna pass over. The worst is when it's on a white display because you're gonna see those pixels. But otherwise, there's been moments where I forget that there's an under display camera, which is again pretty good. It's pretty good to know. Now to get used to that. But yeah, otherwise it's actually really neat. It's so weird, but also so cool at the same time. So whenever I'm using this, well, how I've been using it in like the past hour, I've been using the phone for like a couple hours now. And when I'm opening it up like this, I tend to use it as like if it was two phones. So I'll open up one app here, another app here, and then use it as multitasking like that. But once I turn it landscape mode, I feel like it's a mini tablet. So like I'll do one thing on there sometimes because I don't want to split screen like this. Like unless you're using YouTube, flex mode, it's coming in handy that way. But when I'm using it like this, I tend to use like the full screen for the full app. Like this, I tend to sometimes do it. I don't know. It's just like I'm trying to figure out my habits, trying to figure out how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? What's the right way to do this? And like that, because I'm not used to this form factor, not used to being able to do this with such a interesting phone. So like, yeah, there's a lot of learning to do. Hopefully with the couple weeks here, we can figure it out and then give you my full review then. But overall, I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far. One thing I want to note here is both screens are 120 hertz, both the outer display and then the inner display. Only thing I did notice was that the inner display is like a lower resolution. That looks like 1080 to me. I'm not entirely sure. When I go into the settings to try and change it or take a look at what it's at, it doesn't tell me what it is. So my guess is 1080 on the outside with 120 hertz, and then 1440p-ish with 120 hertz on the inner display. But otherwise, it doesn't make a big difference because on the outer display, it's a small screen, so it's not a big loss. And in the inner display, you want that high display quality. So yeah, it looks so good. And then camera, talking about those real quick, let's mention how yeah, this front-facing camera, it's not the greatest under ideal situations. You're definitely gonna be getting decent camera 1080p quality, but yeah, I would say not the greatest. But we already knew that if you have seen some of the videos, and yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's people say that you won't be using this camera as much. We'll find out if it's true or not. Snapchat does use it, so if you were curious about that, when I went into Snapchat, it was an option or it was available to be used. So that's something to know there. But yeah, overall, I'm probably not gonna be using this as much. I'm being honest with you. Right now, I have a light hitting me right now, so it's kind of looking okay. But under bad conditions, yeah, don't expect anything amazing here. But the good thing is you can use either the front display camera, or you can use one of these guys back here, which adds some nice touch to it. Now, I get confused when I'm trying to do that. Like I start to finagle with the phone, like, oh wait, so I want to see myself. So like, do I hold it like this? Wait, but what can I see myself? Like I start to like not know what to do because it's unknown territory for me. So like I don't know what I'm doing. So like I'm just trying to figure it out. So, but yeah, you can definitely use the three cameras back here to film yourself if you need to. Not sure why I want to do that. I mean, just for selfies, I get it, but because I feel like it's a little uncomfortable after a while, just holding this big thing. It's almost like you're using a tablet, but I don't know. But yeah, you can do it. It's cool, but I probably won't be doing it because if you don't know, I'm not much of a camera guy when it comes to the phones. I tend to like blush over it when I'm talking about it in reviews because although cameras are pretty important because this is always in your pocket, so you want to have a good camera. I don't always use them, so it's not that big of a loss that it's a downgrade from the S21 Ultra. You still have the ultra wide, telephoto, the main. You still get a good camera on here. It's not like you're getting a bad camera. So I think cameras is going to be nice. And it's minimalistic. I think it's not too bad versus having something huge on here. I think this is pretty neat, pretty clean. And then overall, the phone itself, it does feel clean. It's matte. It's a nice green. The green is kind of black. It's mostly green, kind of like the Pixel 5a, but or mostly black, I should say. But yeah, now let's talk about some cases. So as much as I want to rock this nude, there's no way I'm doing that. So first, I'm gonna put on the speaking case that I got. So this is the speaking case. This is the clear case, the Ultra Hybrid. It's pretty simple. It's clear. I got it because I got the green color, so I want to show off the green color, but you can't really see the green colors. Really no point in buying it now, but yeah. Only concern I have here is that the edges are kind of sharp right here where the hinge is at. So when you're holding it in your palm here, it's kind of sharp and a little bit uncomfortable, but most of the time I'm gonna be having it open, so I think it's gonna be okay for some quick protection. Also kind of inexpensive, so I gave it a shot. Let's try on the Samsung case. I actually haven't even opened it yet, so let's give it a quick open here. So inside the box, you just get the case. It's a flip cover case too. Oh shit! You get some S Pen removal tool and some extra tips, I think, in there. Toss it over. And then you get the actual S Pen, which is kind of feels like the Tab S7 pen. A little bit chunky, but nice. Not gonna lie. All right, it says Fold Edition on it, so it's for the fold. Let's put it on my phone. All right, so here's the S Pen case and the S Pen on the Fold 3. First impressions, I don't know how I feel about this case. Mainly because it just flaps right off. Like it's just not super protective, but it does give you a little bit of hinge protection. And then the S Pen protrudes a little bit there. But it's all about that S Pen. Being able to use the S Pen is all that matters. If you didn't know, I really like the S Pen. I'm an S Pen fan now. I don't use it a lot on my phone just because I don't feel comfortable using it. It just feels a little bit weird. I use it a lot on my tablet though. And now that I have a bigger display, I think I'm definitely going to use it more. See, you hear that? It's just flopping around. This is not an ideal case to be, carrying it around. But if you want that S Pen, you have to make some sacrifices, I guess. But Yeah, this is interesting. Um, yeah, this is an interesting case, and I just care more about the S Pen than I do about the case. The case, not a fan of, but the S Pen, I am a fan of. And I even talk about not having pretty much anything in the box. You're paying so much for a phone that you're only getting a cable. Yeah, it's a little. It's you can go either way. Like you can say, well, you can afford such a big or such a pricey phone. You can afford a charger. You can afford wireless buds, or you can say, dude, I paid so much. Give me at least wireless buds. Give me at least a charger or a dongle or something. Yeah, you can go either way. But Samsung is out there trying to help the environment, trying to save the world like bosses. So luckily, they give you nice offers when you're pre-ordering it, or I'm sure they'll continue doing these offers as you buy it when it comes out. Um, you can get a charger, and you can get wireless buds. I have it backwards, and you can also get a case for like all of this for an extra like I think like $10 maybe, because you get $200 worth of credit towards Samsung depending on where you buy it, so you can get a bunch of accessories. So really, you get that money back. You get those savings. So you're getting a bunch of good stuff here. So here's the 35-watt charger. It's a power adapter. It's a dual charger actually. So you get USB-A 15 watts charging, and you get USB-C up to 35 watts charging. So pretty cool that you get this pretty much for free. And then the Galaxy Buds 2. You bet your ass. We're gonna do a video on this later on. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Leave me your comments as to what you want to know about the Fold 3. I'll be doing a review pretty soon, hopefully. Give me some time to learn about it, get used to it. This was just the first impressions. I am very, very excited to start my journey with the Fold 3. This is just so whack, man. So whack. Anyways, that's been it. Hope you guys enjoyed.